Self-confidence. It's a bit of a weird one, and we've addressed this before. But a lot of the time, people don't feel particularly confident because they've got no real evidence to back up that they're pretty good at doing things in the first place. But if you follow five fairly simple principles, you can build up your confidence and hopefully progress a bit further in life. The first point is to be able to start fairly small and promise things to yourself. If you say you're going to do something and you do it and the outcome is pretty successful, even if it's something small like agreeing with yourself that you're going to clean the toilet every single week or you're going to keep your garden in a decent amount of order. Once you've seen the positive outcome, it almost cements it in your mind that your actions have a positive outcome and you can build confidence on it. The second point is to act before you feel fully ready. Sometimes people procrastinate and they don't get on with stuff because they've got to read a 400-page manual by some sort of guru on whether or not they can tie their own shoelaces or not. But if you just have a try at doing something, you realize that you're not always perfect, but you can often improvise and come up with some sort of solution. And this ultimately builds a good degree of self confidence. The next one, number three, is an old classic, is about comparisons and don't compare yourself to others. If you're thinking I'm not intelligent enough or I'm not beautiful enough and you're comparing yourself against some sort of amazing don of a university who's had 1,000 papers published on brain surgery, or you're comparing your looks against some sort of magazine cover supermodel, you're probably going to fall a little bit by the wayside. And it just basically destroys any sort of joy you have. Don't compare yourself to anyone else other than you from yesterday. And if you can see that you're making a decent degree of progress, you should be happy and confident with that. The next area is competence. If you can just prove to yourself that you've got a small degree of competence in whatever field that might be, it might be at work, it might be at home, it cements that you're good at something and it gives you the confidence to learn competence in something else. It could be drawing or painting or doing a cartwheel on the back lawn. It doesn't matter. But if you can prove to yourself that you're quite good at it, it gives you the confidence to build on other things and be competent in that area too. And the next and final one is to contribute beyond yourself. You can't just have a skill or an ability or some sort of confidence and just prove it to yourself. You've got to do it outwardly. And if you can show other people that you've got competence and ability, they're going to come and ask you to help them. And as soon as they ask you for help, that gives you a degree of confidence. And you know they have trust in you, and you will ultimately have trust in yourself. So, those five areas again: keep small promises to yourself and fulfill them. Act before you're fully competent in absolutely every degree in something you're trying to achieve. You've got the inner ability and you can build on it. Limit the comparisons. It doesn't do you any favors whatsoever and it destroys any sort of joy you might have. Develop competence in one area and become really, really good at it and build on it, especially if it's something of interest. And then the final part is basically contribute to other people, society, a wider audience. And as soon as they come and ask you, it'll ultimately build your confidence. And with that, you'll definitely rise up out of your shell and be absolutely super self confident.